Hello, in this video I want to talk about negotiating and negotiables and non-negotiable items and dates. So yesterday it was Mother's Day in some parts of the world, and leading up to it I heard women discussing not having contact with their children on that day, and this is what I'd like to talk about: negotiating and what is negotiable and what is non-negotiable. This might not be a legal term, but it will help you determine what is really important. Hello, my name's Elizabeth Goddard. I'm from the Divorce Sanctuary. I'm author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. On this channel I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing both emotionally and physically from the emotional abuser. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back and thank you. And thank you so much over the last few weeks and months to everyone who's been subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Escaping an emotionally abusive relationship is difficult enough. You're battling with your emotions and what you believe to be true and what now you're finding out to be a lie. You get trapped wondering if you'd done something or said something differently or behaved in a different way, if you'd be here in this place. And then when you start to get your life back together, you're faced with divorce. As you start to detangle from them, if you haven't divorced them emotionally, this process can feel like you're going through everything again. The nightmares, the trauma. And it has all been designed to trigger you for their amusement as they try to take control of the process. They play games, and the conversations this week have been around Mother's Day and not seeing children. I'm going to put a link below to my workbook, Turn Broken into Your Superpower, as this will help you think about what is really important to you. And Mother's Day might be up there, along with maybe your birthday or Christmas and other holidays. The divorce process should be a negotiation, but that isn't always the case. They lied during the relationship and now they're expecting you to trust them when they say they're looking after you, or that is their intention. The only person who usually comes out winning is them when they take control. If you have a list of things that are important to you and that you are not prepared to negotiate on, then you're in a better position than you would be by just letting them take control. You've got no closure, so you have been just left hanging, and you might still be trying to get answers, and you might still be trying to understand what happened. If you haven't divorced them emotionally, you might still be trying to make sense of the feeling of overwhelm and trying to balance your emotions. There might be part of you that would still be willing to accept them back. Trauma bonding is horrific and it keeps you trapped. And these people are the masters of manipulation. You believe what they were telling you. They reminded you constantly how amazing you were. They told you how you were meant to be together. And they told you that no one else had ever understood them in the way that you did. They will always play the victim. This video is not about using the tools that they used on you and reversing them on them. I'd never advise that. It simply doesn't work, and you will get hurt even more than you have been. And even if you are using a legal team, it is worth being prepared. Particularly if you're suffering with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, as you might go into overwhelm in meetings. Your mind might spin or go blank. Prepare everything beforehand. And if you're not using anyone and you're doing this yourself, it will show them that you have reclaimed some of your power and you are claiming back your sovereignty. I want you to remember that your legal team work for you. They have a duty of care towards you. You are a paying client. And that is exactly the same for the legal team on the opposing side. They have a duty of care towards you. They have to make sure that what is going through, what is happening, what is being negotiated is fair. But this is a negotiation process, and they will play mind games. So if you're not emotionally fit or divorced from the abuser, then you might get trapped in the trauma. So it might be worth looking at all elements. So when you're looking at the holiday dates, things like Mother's Day, consider what you're going to do at Christmas or during the summer holidays, and what you're going to do for birthdays. And what do you do about your children's birthdays? Remember, for every action, there's a reaction. So for Mother's Day, maybe you could offer Father's Day. For Christmas Day, what can you offer? Get it all written down and put every eventuality in place. For Christmas and other holidays like Easter, what can you do? I met one woman whose negotiation had been that her ex-husband had the children every year over Christmas for a week. Ask yourself, what is the best outcome for my children and myself? And for each event, write that down. Individualize your sheet. There might be other dates that are really important to you and your family and your children. And get this in writing to save the frustration in later years. It will also stop your children being used or having to listen to how awful you are for not doing something. This isn't manipulation, this is negotiation. This is your life. You need to claim it back and do it while they continue to play their silly games. They use these and other techniques to gain power and control over you. Make sure before you start the process that you are ready to negotiate. Check what you have to negotiate with. So as I said, for Mother's Day could be Father's Day. Get it all written down in black and white. And make sure you have a list and you know what you want and what is really important to you. Understand what you're willing to negotiate on and the areas that you're willing to let them have. As part of their game, they don't care how much it costs you financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You need to have things that you can allow them to win on. I've used the example before of a tea set that Aunt Doris gave you as a wedding present, or a picture that you both bought. It might be an additional hour visitation with the children, but you need to be very clear what it is. So not only do you need to think about what is important to you, you also need to think about what is important to them. What have they been asking for or demanding? This, like everything else, is a game. You didn't have the rules during the relationship, so why would things be different now? Remember, they are master manipulators. They play the victim. When they had taken everything from you, poof, like a genie, they disappeared. And taking with them the fake future that you created together. They left you to pick up the pieces, tidying up their mess. And then they come back for round 2, the divorce. So when it comes to the divorce, you need to be very clear. Divorce them emotionally, breaking the trauma bonds. Put yourself first over everything. And if you spot the games or things don't add up, question it. And if they are playing games, not responding or missing dates, start to put conditions in place. But as you would do with a child, only do it if you really mean it. So if you said to your child, come and eat your dinner or be in by a certain time, and they don't, and you say to them again, if you don't do this, I'm taking away your television or your phone or your laptop, and you don't do that, your child knows your threats are empty and they won't change, will they? So remember, you are dealing with a child dressed as an adult. They need to win. Even if it's a teeny tiny win, it's a win to them. Emotionally healthy people will want to make sure a divorce is fairly concluded. They want to make sure that you have closure. They don't want to play games. So it's important to remember, with emotionally unhealthy people, they have already decided your worth. They will win at any cost. And they really do not care by how little, as long as they win. And part of this win is to make you pay in some way. So it might be monetary, it might be with your mind or your soul. You are not a person to them, you are an object. That is why it was so easy for them to walk away from you without a backward glance and move on, leaving you to clear up their mess. As an object, you hold no value to them, but they understand that the divorce process does. Relationships to the emotional abuser are projects. They studied you from the very beginning, so they know exactly what they need to do and say to hurt you. The abuser knows your triggers and they know how to execute them for their pleasure. So when they say they don't want to fight, they just want to move on, what they really mean is they don't want you to fight them. When you divorce them emotionally, you're in a stronger position to say no. You're in a stronger position to make decisions that suit your agenda, not theirs. You're in a stronger position to get the divorce that works for you. You're in a stronger position to spot the manipulation. You're in a stronger position to walk away if you choose. You're in a stronger position to call out their behaviour and stop it. Please try and divorce emotionally first. If you are stuck in the trauma bond, you will still remember the persona they created at the beginning of the relationship, the one who was so kind and loving towards you and that wanted to protect you. If Mother's Day is an important day that you want to spend with your children, make sure you get it in writing and written in the court order. Do not leave it to chance. An emotionally healthy person would see it's an important day to you and would agree to it. However, they will see it as being important and will use it in a way to manipulate you in years to come. If something is really important, make sure you get this added to the order and make sure you have your list of negotiables ready. What is your Mother's Day worth? I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to find out more about working with me, I'll put the links below in the description box, along with the links to both my books, Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. As I said, I'm going to put the link to the workbook, Turn Broken into Your Superpower, below, but I'll also I've got another free workbook which is Self-Care is Vital. I'll add that in there as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video so that we can get more content out to a further and larger audience, and I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love.